Right. Be right back. Right. Ads. Alrighty. Hello, hello. I hope you can hear me. Let me know. And as I wait for people to come in, I will take a little look at these. That's a really cute little notebook. Hi 23, hi Arctic Journals, hi Lisbeth. Hi all the kitties. Oh, that's also really nice. Oh, ooh. Huh. That's surprisingly nice. My fingertips are so dry and cracked and messed up that I lightly scratched the finish of this leather booklet, which I think is really funny. Okay. I think the least nice quote unquote one is this one, but it's still quite good. And smells like real leather. Interesting. Alright. Oh man. I got a delivery earlier and the delivery person had so much perfume, cologne, aftershave on, whatever, that it's still there, and I've washed my hands like 3 times and my hands still smell like the cologne. I'm so happy today. Oh, that's awesome! Hi, Pumpkin! What are these? They're from Temu. I know. But I saw these, and I know that Traveler's Notebook has released a One Stay for Longer, gotta go with P. Oh, well, thank you so much for stopping by. But yeah, and I got curious about these because they're possibly about the same size, but a fraction of the price. Oh, because they're when drawing. Oh, that's fair. This one is not like a Traveler's Notebook at all, but it is really nice. And I think you can sort of replace the paper if you take this bit apart and you use sheets that have holes in it. This seems to be glued together, but I think you could put like a stack of watercolor paper sheets in there if you wanted something. But it's like this sort of light craft paper that has lines on one side and blank on the other side, but it's quite thin. Gotta go with the prints to buy their art supplies. Ooh! There is something about leather-bound notebook that is ineffably luxurious. Very well put. Hi, Alia. Hey! Caffeine fumes. Oh, no. Yeah, it is small. But yeah, Traveler's Notebook has released a, like, what do they call it? Card size? And yeah, while I completely understand the appeal of the craftsmanship of a Traveler's Notebook, like genuine product, it's not a very complex item, and I got curious about these, but yeah. Oh, another ad. Zoom experienced a dream vacation in St. Moritz, blah de blah. Blah de blah de blah. St. Moritz. And where is St. Moritz? Okay. I also have these, I've had these for a while, but the tiny sketchbooks. I was considering doing tiny paintings in it. So, yeah, I'm just, I guess the brain is on small things, but... Oh man, my hands really smell of perfume. That's unsettling. So I was a bit curious about what you guys might like to see today. I wanted to continue with the vintage palettes, but it's something that's a bit too dusty to be able to stream at the same time. Oh, hold on, let me grab a thing that I worked on. Has to be tried. So, I was curious, and I saw that people did marbling with enamel paints. And it has this little black tin. And I decided to try it out. It's gotta be dry by now. Apropos of nothing, I'm happy today too because I found ballpoint pen that I don't hate using and that stand up to cold press paper. So I'm going... Ooh, awesome! Haven't been using ballpoints for ages. A good like ballpoint pen has oil-based ink, so it's waterproof. And you can sort of work in levels of gray. It's not like a fine liner where your options are either no line or black line. I much prefer the writing experience of gel pens, but since they're not waterproof, yeah. Most regular gel pens are indeed not very waterproof. Oh, ugh, it still smells of enamel. So yeah, my verdict so far on the enamel paint marbling is that it's very interesting, but it's also very easy to go overboard with too much paint because it doesn't spread all that much. So yeah, there's definitely things that can be improved. And like my marbling results are not super impressive, like it's not very pretty or fancy, but it was really interesting to see, and it's something that I've been wondering about doing that on the exterior of some of my vintage palettes. Because I think it could be interesting to have a marbled. Oh my gosh, I need something. Okay, sorry. So when I do something as simple as creating a swatch chart, I've been using fine liners, but the tactile experience of using them on cold press isn't ideal and the tips get beat up. So when I found a fine-tipped ballpoint that didn't smudge under watercolor and was easier to get a steady line with, it was a revelation. Which one did you get? Oh, you need Jetstream. I think I'm gonna spray paint the interior white, and then I'll perhaps try it, like give it a an actual run. See if the enamel like chips off or. Oops. Okay. Well, I mean, the Jetstream is a bit of a middle ground between a gel pen and a ballpoint pen because it's not oil-based ink in it. It's I don't think it's gel pen ink, but it's not oil based either. Okay. Ugh, ugh. Smelly hands bother me. Sorry. It's not water-based gel ink for sure. The marketing at least says it is oil-based. Okay, maybe. It's not the same kind of oil-based as you would have in like a big pen. But yeah. I found an amazing ballpoint pen, so I kind of stole it from the hospital I'm at. Didn't give it back. Oh, what kind of ballpoint pen is it, Lisbeth? I'm thinking. Sorry, guys. It's nothing. I wish I could put something to look at in the meantime. Well, I'm thinking. One with the hospital branding on it, but made by Bic. Bic makes really nice ballpoint pen. Hold on. I use this a lot when I do charts. Wait. The pink cat topper helps. Oh, of course it does. You know what? I was kind of bummed about the fact that these are kind of hard to find now. And I like a good pen topper, personally. It just makes the pen like easier to spot, and it kind of makes me smile. But they're very hard to find now. There used to be something you would get like everywhere. I have another one. Like I have another one somewhere that's a purple cat. But yeah, like come on, bring the bring the whimsy back. Ah, there it is. Here, that's my purple cat. I've had these for so long. Russ. But yeah, very, very hard to come by now. Yes, this one is the original pencil that came with it, and it says meow, and it has mice on the body. And yes, I'm the kind of kid that would get like a special pencil, and then I would be absolutely unable to use it. We went to. I remember going to the Disney World, Disneyland, whatever, in Orlando, Florida, when I was a kid. Like I was 5, and I think that's when we got the flamingo shaped pencil, and I've never used it. It's somewhere out there, but I've never used it. The eraser is shot. It's probably like unusable by now, but. Ooh, sorry. Ooh. Woohoo. Ugh. Ugh. I might set up to work on the palettes anyway, because that's what I want to do. I'm kind of stuck. Let me grab my gear. Oops. Oh, we can kind of see through this. Not too terribly. Oh. Sorry. Apologies for all the weird noises you'll hear, but give me a sec. I need to blow my nose again. Sorry. Oh my god. Oh. The heck? Okay, sorry. Whew. So, what do you guys think? Like, it's not too bad to look through the box, is it? as long as the focus doesn't shift. Can kind of see, not too bad through it. I just need to remove some of the dust on it, maybe. Ooh, nice. Very. Sorry. Like there's a big I think the only issue is sort of the glare from the lamp. So give me a sec, I'll try to see if I can sort this out. How's this? That's a bit better, it's less in the way, right? Hi, Amy. Hello. I first thought there was no cover and we were looking into a clear bin turned upside down. Yeah, it's very, not too bad. Can I even... There. Hey, not bad, not bad, not bad. I'll get these out. I need to wash these, they're grody. Stay there. Have clean. Okay, tuning back in. Was testing new supplies. Oh, awesome. Hi, Melissa. Hello. Hi, everyone. Oh, I'm glad this sort of works. Hopefully. So as you can see, this side is kind of almost all cleaned up. Nice shiny metal underneath. The inside requires a bit more work. This paint and enamel is really like sturdy. So I've been, like for this part, have had to use the little chisels and to work at everything kind of slowly because of the way it's made. It's not chemical experiment, it's just very dusty. And I would prefer not to have like enamel boogers if I can help it. So I have my all of my sort of chisels here. I'm trying to remove as much of the paint as possible. Then it's a washing it with the 99% alcohol. That will dissolve what's left. No mask then. Not at the moment. If I didn't have this little box, I would have to put a mask. But the box has been a surprisingly efficient way to control the dust. Like the first time I tried, I didn't think I would end up breathing in so much of the palette dust, but then I blew my nose and I was like, oh, that's an issue. So I would work with masks, but it would get so hot under the masks that it made for a pretty miserable experience. And I have like my my fancy mask from doing handmade paints, but that's also quite warm and unpleasant to wear for long periods of time. The gloves are already bad enough in terms of sweating and like soggy and whatnot, but the mask is miserable. So I was trying to find a like an option, and I saw that these cheap boxes existed, and I was like, well, it's worth a try. And it's really good at like preventing the dust from being in my face. So yeah. There went drawing work on top of acrylic, which is awesome. Is it more of a glossy type of acrylic, or are they more matte? Oh, I should update the title of the stream. Hold on. So, what have you guys been up to this weekend so far? Oh, sorry. My hair isn't. Oh, I have a hairband. Thank you, hairband, for being just there. Awesome. Is this an old palette? It is an old palette. It is a vintage palette. Hold on. I will put the gloves back on, and I can show you the other parts of it that. So whenever I want to refinish a vintage palette, first step is to sort of clean it up, the bigger part of it, remove the pans, and then pull it apart. So that's the mixing tray. The bottom tray has this insert for square pans, and then this is the bottom tray. This one was in like really good shape, honestly. This one like didn't need to be refinished. This one could have possibly be fine on like that, like not too much rust, not too much wear and tear on it. But I kind of like to do this. Getting set up to do thumbnails on my final piece for one of the watercolor classes. I'm thinking, ooh, I'd say it has very subtle shine. I've got Rosa Professional Series acrylics. They're very pigmented and high coverage. And less liquidy, which I like. I'm asking because I tried to use color pencils over acrylic base recently, and it just didn't work out. So I was a bit curious about that. Get to spend the afternoon, night, and tomorrow at home. Oh, that's great! Aw. Do you have someone who can come over to take care of your cat, Lisbeth? Again, this is like something that I haven't done a lot on stream, so if you have any observation, if any noise is too annoying, unbearable, or whatnot, just let me know and I'll try to troubleshoot it, because I don't have a lot of points of reference for what is enjoyable for this kind of stuff. I haven't seen a lot of people do this kind of stuff during lives, let's just say. I kind of have love-hate relationship with acrylics. Guess the thing is in quality of those. Yeah, I guess. I saw a review on the Artex Directic and it was super useful. I have been eyeing that set for a while, but I was disappointed to hear that color pencil doesn't go well. Well, not the ones I have. Perhaps I know that you can have like wax-based or oil-based pencil. I think maybe oil-based would go better on top. I do think that the Artex ones that I used are wax-based, so... Yes, my mom or my brother are taking care of him, but now it's treat time for him. Aww. I'm pretty sure he's happy to have treat time. What's his favorite treat? I'm tired right now to give much feedback. So, oh, no worries. No worries at all. Like I said, if it's something like oh, the scraping noises are unbearable. It's this kind of stuff. Like, I'm not looking for you to like necessarily share some, like, rack your brain for feedback. It's just if anything sort of crosses your mind and you feel up to sharing. Oh, I need to put I usually prefer to have a piece of paper towels underneath. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What are you planning to do with the palette after scraping off the palette? Well, once all the paint is done, I sand it to make it smooth and like make all the scratches at least a little bit even. And then I spray paint them. And then I put them back together and my goal is to use them. Same, wanted those for a while now, but I'm still hesitant, even though they're sold in Ukraine. Liquid snacks with chicken or tuna, or just a kind of normal tuna. Ooh, fancy. This is really interesting stuff to do from a like ADHD-ish brain, because it's very it's like you kind of have to take your time and figure out which tool is the best for which area, and it's very satisfying to like get the paint off, that kind of stuff. Weekly reminder to use live chat instead of top chat, which you think I would remember to do by now. I should remember to mention it at the beginning of the stream too. Or have perhaps a pinned message or something. But yeah, I really enjoy sorting out these palettes. Of course, I don't have the setup to do like a big job. Like when I see people who find old vintage items and restore them, like old lamps from World War I, and they like put them right, clean off the rust, re-enamel them. They have all the big tools for that, like a box for sanding, like what's it called? You know, like when you have the box with the tool in it that throws sand at objects to remove paint. What's it called? It's not sandblasters. Yes, thank you. The sandblaster is always so satisfying because they go like from one side to the next, and you see all the rust and the old paint like disappear, and it's so satisfying. But yeah, I don't have any of those, and even if I had the money for them, which is not the case, but even if I did, I don't necessarily have the place for them. And the powder coating, oh my gosh, can you imagine being able to refinish these with good powder enamel coating? Oh my gosh. Now, what I can do is use spray, like spray paint, enamel spray paint. Maybe one day, if I win the lottery, I'll have the full setup. I find the restoration videos really fascinating because at my core, I really like when people take the time to fix something instead of throwing it away. That's why I like mending, and I wish I could like restore old... Oh, and add. Besoin de vérifier tes chiffres. Ouvre l'appli Google. Recherche. Comment résoudre ce problème? Oh man, they're basically showing kids how to cheat, which is not great. I was watching the recording of the Thursday stream afterward and took the opportunity to look up sandblasting as a service. There is at least one in my area, though I have no idea what their pricing is. Yeah, and like, would they sort of know what to do with something like a paint palette, or is it like some not the type of thing they usually work with? But yeah, like people who take old furniture and make it all nice, and there is really something like impressive with that. The furniture videos though are also equally daunting, because when I see all the tools the dude needs to be able to like do the thing, it's like you need a house, and you need a big garage and space for all this stuff. But yeah, I love it because it's like, I don't think IKEA furniture is the way of the future, really. Take the palette to an auto body shop. Please, sir, can I has the powder coat? I've been lining Altoid thins with Yupo paper. Hey, Hippopotamus Bosch, hello. Works perfectly for mixing paint, and you can easily replace it too. But I would hope it would be more cost effective than buying the equipment, so I could see a potential future in taking a whole batch of vintage palettes to get sandblasted. Yeah, absolutely. How are you skill-wise in terms of spray painting? Never done it even a little bit. I have a kind of appliance epoxy I wanted to cover the lid of a standard tin box and for mixing purposes, and have been too intimidated to try. Oh yeah. Epoxy spray paint seems to be a good finish, but I haven't been able to find it here. Or perhaps I have, but it's just named something different, and I'm not savvy enough to realize it. Must admit, vintage toy restoration videos are mesmerizing. Aren't they? Seriously. Sometimes like whatever they're trying to restore, some of them are perhaps, they're satisfying, but some of them, there's something a bit dodgy about them, I feel like. And I was trying to understand what it was and looking through the comments, and some people were advancing the notion that perhaps some of these channels, they sort of mess up an item on purpose with the intent of restoring it afterwards. Like putting something metal in acid so it has a bit of corrosion or whatever. And I don't know how feasible that is. But yeah, I find it really satisfying when someone shows up with like, oh, look at this cheese cutter from the 30s, the 1930s. Let's restore this. And you're like, I'm sorry, the what now? And then they restore it and you're like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, I mean, it's impressive. These guys, they have all the gear to be able to create make a screw from a rod of metal to match whatever like size of screw they need to fix something, which is, you know, you need the materials and the tools and the know-how and... Dodgy YouTube videos say it and so. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's either like dodgy YouTube videos or really jaded watchers, but say it ain't so. That's a Weezer, good Weezer song. The partner was asking me about the vintage palettes that I'm having fun, like, I don't know, refinishing somewhat. And I was like, what are you going to do with all of these? Because I have quite a few by now. It's like, do you plan on selling them? And I was like, you know what? I don't know. part of me is like, these are all my babies. So no, but part of me is also like, you can only use one palette at a time, sort of, so... Big Weezer fan, hey! Dang it. I feel like for any kind of crafts, the world economy is working against you. Basically, no one has the money to pay for something that has been made by a craftsperson or an artist or whatnot. Unless they're stupidly rich, but... One question I had was how to get a smooth finish after scraping off an old palette. A lot of these start with or will end up with scratches after removing the old enamel. Does the spray painting improve the finish? It kind of does, but then after a pass like this, you could... What I plan on doing is I will go through a series of sandpaper? Like, sandpaper as a thing has a variety of grits. So you can have some really coarse ones that are good for like scraping off paint and whatnot. These will tend to leave a lot of scratches, but then you can progressively go through finer grits. And at some point you will get to some grits that are so fine that you kind of need to do wet sanding. So you need to wet the paper or the area you're going to sand, and that will eventually smooth out the big scratches. And then the spray paint and all of that will make this a bit smoother, yes. But yeah, if you want to have it be more smooth before spray painting, it's just a matter of sanding it with progressively finer tools. It is quite fun to do, honestly, and you can see the difference. Like, you can see when it's much smoother, like much finer. You see right away the difference it has made, if that makes sense. You can kind of see, like, it's still a nice... This one is still nice and smooth. It was not that rusty. I have other palettes that I'm working on that are a bit more worn, but as you can see, like, check out this one. So I've started spray painting the lid of this one. And you can see, like, in the inside, it is relatively smooth, right? Like, relatively. There's still some visible scratches, but it's nothing that will show all that much once I put the spray paint on it. I still need to rework the spray paint a bit. I'm not very good at it. I don't have I don't have a very good setup for it. But yeah, stuff like, if it has like these areas that have a really like harsh texture from the rust that was there before, that's gonna show. Like, I have one here. Like, even with the spray paint, like, you can see it. But a good spray paint and like a good sanding will definitely help you. Like same with this part. Like it is like significantly smooth-ish. It's not shiny because I didn't buff it and I didn't go all the way to the most fine grits of sandpaper. I just needed to, like if it's too smooth, the spray paint is gonna struggle with it too. So you need a little bit of a tooth to your metal surface, just the finest thing. And then, hold on. This is another part of the same, the same palette that's not quite finished yet. And you can see that it is much rougher. There's still a bunch of rust that I need to take care of. And here, the bottom was easier to clean, so that one's a bit more finished, but the inside was very difficult. I didn't have the right tools, and I think I have them now, so I'll be able to finish this one. Like, does that make sense? I hope this makes sense. I guess a chemical process would be more efficient, but dangerous. To strip the paint, you mean? Like having a paint stripper. That's also a way to do it. I can't do it. I don't have the space to be able to work with something that is like paint strippers. They're not like, they're terrible products. They're really stinky and really dangerous. Even to do them outside would be perhaps a bit too difficult. So going back to an earlier conversation, are you planning on using some of that enamel marbling technique for the outside of these palettes? I would love to try it, but like I said, that was a little test piece. And the issue I've encountered with it is that the sort of enamel paint that I have at the moment, it does the trick of it sits on top of like tap water, no problem, but it doesn't spread. So the drops that I put on there, they stay as big drops. And I haven't found a good tool to stir it up, because if I stir the mixture, it's gonna stick to whatever I use. So it's gonna like remove the paint. So the issues are twofold. First of all, I haven't found a good way to stir it up, and then the paint doesn't spread. So the drop of paint stays basically in that area, and when you dip your item in it to get the marbling effect, it's basically like dropping a huge drop of paint on your surface. So when you remove it, there's like too much paint on the item that you want to marble. But if I can sort of like keep researching it and figure it out, I would really love to try some sort of marbling on these. I think it would be really fun. Marbling, like what Simply Nailogical does, maybe? You see it with the, if you've seen the Agalo palettes, their wrappers, the paper that they use to wrap the palettes, it's marbled paper. Do I still have like the, where did I put the, oh, there it is. Like, this is not a good example because I didn't quite succeed, but I think the bottom is perhaps a bit more like what I had in mind. It would be something like this, and then I would have to find a way to put perhaps a clear coat of enamel to protect it. But yeah. it'd be interesting to see if you can use the same materials as they use for paper marbling. Yeah, I'd have to check it out, though. I think a lot of paper marbling is done perhaps using acrylic paints. And you would need to protect that somehow. But yeah, I need to, like, there's not a lot about marbling with enamel online, and what there is interesting, but they mostly use it with paper, which is something that absorbs the paint, like it's absorbent. Maybe acrylic under polyurethane. You have to keep in mind that it has to be thin-ish. And polyurethane, isn't that stinky? Should have clarified. I meant like the mordant and whatever you use to allow the paint or whatever to float. Yeah, that's the thing is with enamel paint, the enamel paint on its own floats on water. I could not explain to you why. I haven't looked into it. Not my area of expertise at all. But the issue I'm encountering is that the paint doesn't flow. Like when they do paper marbling and they put down the color on top of the bath, you see like the paint fall and it spreads out. It's as if the bath will only allow one layer thick of paint, and the paint, like the drop, instead of staying a drop in suspension, it like flattens out and spreads basically. So when you dip something in there, there's not like too much paint for whatever you're dipping in there, if that makes sense. Maybe you could use the material they use on cars. Oh, they use a heat gun. Oh, maybe. Or maybe hot water. Okay, yeah, I'll keep that in mind. That's like hot water, that's definitely something that I can easily try out. Oh, another ad. What is this one? Google Chrome. Ugh, really? Giving me an ad for Google Chrome. It's very lackluster. Craft water-soluble poly isn't bad to work with. I used it for making hair sticks. Yeah, but if it's water-soluble, it's not gonna be good for a paint palette, is it? Water soluble until dry, like acrylic. Yeah, but acrylic, like you can't really soak in water something that's acrylic. I got an ad for industrial paint. No, they're not listening to what I'm doing at all, are they? Should I'm gonna do something a bit different for a change of pace, but I think I'm gonna take out some of the sandpaper I have and try to finish like one of the mixing areas. Fighting with my glove. There I go. So I have quite the bunch of grits. The coarser grit that I have is 60, and the higher the number you go, the thinner the grit, finer the grit. Sorry. I have more here. More. Sorry, up. I'm back. When regular paints are just not enough, try our industrial paints. Okay. So 80, then my second one for me would be, I think it's the orange one. That's 120. So I would... It's like a plastic film on the car and they just use a heat gun. Oh yeah, when they, what's it called? I saw a video about that recently. It's fascinating to see them go. I, like, impressive skills to not end up with a bajillion bubbles under there. You can see though, when I stripped the paint, the part that I was able to do with steel wool for stripping the paint left it decently smooth. I'm probably like making more scratches with this right now. Than I had before. Okay, then it's the yellow one. The yellow one is 220. Oh yeah, to wrap a card. That's it. That's it. If tried to use that film wrap, there would be so many trapped cats. Yeah, you cannot have a shop pet when you wrap cars. Do you guys see the circular imprint in here? Huh. You can also see it a little bit from the inside, depending on the angle and the reflection of the light on it. My cat sheds heaps, and I've had on one occasion a cat hair in my water. Oh, and seriously, and I don't know, like if you guys are legit pet people, you will give like kisses to your pet, like on the head and stuff like that. So having a mouthful of hair is not necessarily something new. I need the... This. Okay, alright, I'm back. I needed a my water container. I was at an open studio, not even at home, and I got a cat hair stuck up in my nose. The worst I've ever had was a cat hair stuck in my ear. And I thought like there was something wrong with my ear because it was a bit reminiscent of when you have like water in your ear. But there was no water. Like if I moved my head, I didn't feel the water moving around. I just kept like hearing this feeling and hearing this noise of having something in your hair. And turns out it was a cat hair. My cat hates kisses. She would run off when she thinks I'm about to give her. No! Aw. But you're fine because you still want to give your cat kisses. Like it's the people who don't want to do it that, like, I find that weird. And yeah, I know, pets are gross. I know, fully aware. There's a rescue channel that I really like named Flatbush Cat. And we often see the same man doing the rescue. And he will go like in, what's it called? Storm drains to pick up kittens, and like he just picked a cat from a storm drain, a cat that was outside, and he will still give them kisses on the top of their head. And you know that cat is grody. And I'm like, this guy is a real one. Oh no, can I? Hold on, I'll try to hit the... Ah, it worked, yes. Whew, sorry. Her noggin is meant for smooches. Yeah, basically. Okay, so now the last grit that I have is 3000. Only one of our 7 accept kisses tater tot. Oh, I kiss his empty orange head all the time. You know that's a good one. So I don't know if you can sort of see, like, the difference between this middle one and the ones on the side. It's not shiny at all, but it is really smooth. So I feel like with the I'm gonna keep cleaning it until it's completely like clean eventually, but like that would be ready for spray paint, and I don't think I would end up with too many scratches on my paint. And I could probably do it a bit more. But yeah, oddly enough, when I stripped this part, like the metal underneath is really shiny. It's the first time I clean up a palette and I get this kind of metal underneath. That's so shiny. Usually the metal is a bit more matte. It's a bit more damaged. Dang, I need an orange cat with that famous one britzel. I don't know if maybe I'm wasting my time doing this, or if it's just a pointless endeavor and not really worth the time and work and effort that I put into it, but I don't know what to say. Like, this is not enough of an efficient process that I could do it on a like professional scale and have like multiple palettes that are refinished and like have drops and sell them. And it would be hard to do from here. I think that's something that could be doable if one lived in the UK, where it's really common to find like vintage watercolor palettes. It's a bit like the same kind of thing as a handmade sweater, like a hand knit sweater. There's sort of no way to be able to do that and earn a living from it, because the price of a full sweater that's been hand knit is really, really high. And you can find like commercially made sweaters for a small fraction of that price. And I feel it's kind of the same with this. Like, it's the fact is that if you love what you do, it's not a waste of time. Yeah, but at the same time, it's like finding this balance of time and earning money to make a living and being able to like pay for necessities and whatnot. And it's just a tough thing to balance out. And I feel like most crafts are hurt by this balance, in the sense that, most crafts take a lot of time, and if you want to name a fair price for something that's been crafted, it's gonna be a fairly high price because of all the time that went into it. But then that limits your ability to earn from the craft, because not a lot of people would be willing to spend so much on something. Does that make sense? So it's difficult. I feel like nowadays the only crafts that gets the big bucks is singing. But then again, not every singer, or musician, but yeah. Otto! Hey! Hello, Otto! How are you doing? Otto is also a really, really good crafter, in a way. I don't like calling it craft. You know what? Because it's the association with crafts is like something kids do. Like oh, you made a nice drawing with noodles. Like, you painted macaroni noodles and you stuck them on a sheet. Good job, you. That's nice craft. But all of the traditional crafts. What are you doing to that palette? I'm removing all the paint so that I can sand it and repaint it, because it was a bit busted and rusty, and like the enamel was kind of not good. Okay, mind you, this one was relatively nice, but that's like my when I get vintage palettes that are pretty rusted up, I like to strip them and spray paint them so that I can use them. I totally understand that. I got into bookbinding because it was hard to pony up the legitimately high cost of handmade books with premium. Yeah, exactly! Is my audio working? Is it working? I hope it is. Oh no, it was me. For some reason, my sound went all the way to off. Oh, oops. Singing is so cliche. I'm so sick of singing competitions. But yeah, I mean, at least for singers, they have the competitions. You don't have like that for painters, where the like whatever's got talent, and it's like the one that wins, the painter that wins gets like a salary of some sort. Oh, okay. I'll repeat, Otto. First of all, I said hi. I said that we were speaking about crafts and artisan crafts, and how it's very difficult to make a living out of it, because if you quote a reasonable price for the work that went into a piece, no one will pay for that. And if you don't quote like a fair price, and you underquote yourself, you're gonna sell, but you're gonna sell your soul, basically. Oh no, the sound. Okay, I'll do something else. That's fair. No worries. What was I gonna say? And I was saying that you are a very skilled crafts person, but then I was rambling about how I hate using craft because it's something that's sort of associated. No, I'm gonna stop, Otto. That's fine. I'm gonna do something else. No worries. I'm gonna crafts is associated with kids, and like doing stuff with noodles, like the painting and sticking noodles on a sheet of paper and whatnot. And yeah, and I don't know what else. I think I was saying how singing is one of the crafts that's still perhaps a bit more supported, or like being a musician, but not for everyone. Hold on. Hey, Lewis, hello. Okay, I'll just take the whole thing off. I gotta say, this setup is really handy for that. I can take the whole thing and just move it and like recover my space right away. They do have that landscape artist and portrait artist of the year show in the UK. I've only seen one season, and the winner gets a commission from a famous gallery. Yeah, I hope it helps them. But yeah, like the singing competitions, the people get like fans, and they grow an audience, and like most people hear about them. Gonna use this for a water break. Okay. I'm just looking at my stuff for a second. What am I gonna take out? My I'll go get some water. I'll be right back. Right. I got the water. I think Otto has left anyway. Oh. I'll have to remember that the noise is upsetting two rats. I didn't know that. Give me a brush. Try this one. Eep. All good. Again, apropos of nothing, I got the Shinhan PWC Indigo on a whim and was playing with it yesterday. And wow, it's intense. I got it because it's PB66, which as far as I know is unusual in commercial brand. There's a few brands that will offer you synthetic indigo, which is PB66, but not that many. And it's a beautiful color if I remember correctly. So I have a few pieces of Baohong. Okay. I go to the chemist's monthly, so no worry. Chemist, is that what you call the person working at the pharmacy? I want to stay, but yeah, don't know how much time pharmacy will take. Yeah, that's always the thing with them. You never know if you're going like at the same time as everyone else, or if it's gonna be empty. I was missing another thing, which is the rag. So yeah, this little palette here, that one is one that I stripped and repainted, and I think it's very similar to the one that you saw me work on just now. It has the same made in England base. It doesn't say Reeves on it, but it's basically the same kind of thing, and it has this similar insert for the square pans and all of that. It's been a hit to the pocket because no insurance, but it had to be done. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Louis. That sucks. What did you miss? I don't know. What's the last thing you heard? Got an idea to order a roll of Bahong paper and make my own sketchbooks. Even have a nice velvet fabric. Did you order the roll of Bahong already? I really want to paint something from this limited palette of vintage colors. Mostly vintage colors. But I've never really gotten to it. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Flattening a roll of paper is a lot of work. I think, personally, like a roll of paper is really practical for people who like to flatten, like completely soak their sheets and then flatten them on a mount and then let it dry and then paint on that. So yeah, I would also advise perhaps against the roll because of the flattening issues. But that's up to you. It's a beautiful vintage set. It is really nice. I really like it. I really like the paints that came with it. I like the colors. It's like a vintage version of a split primary and earth colors in the mix, and it makes for a super harmonious muted palette. I think I made a mixing sheet for it. Badoo. I'm trying to find my this one, these, this. It's in here somewhere. Pretty sure. Hope so. I'm having doubts. I mean, if it's not in there, too bad, but I thought for sure it would be with this, but I guess not. Dang it. I tried to be organized. Just terrible at it. Yeah. No luck. Sorry, it's not in there. I have this huge, like, bin of swatches and mixes and whatnot, and it's not even in there. Okay, gotta give it a think. I want to make a B5. What? The sheets typically come in 22 by 30 inches. That's imperial, yeah. So you should be able to cut B4 sheets and then fold them to make a B5 book, depending on the grain of the paper. Yeah, fair. Oh, this is the paints that, yeah, these are the paints that came with it, except for the yellow. The yellow, the yellow color was almost empty. So I kind of used up what was in it, and then I substituted it with some Winsor & Newton. But all the other colors are the original colors. The only thing I've done with them, really, is the method that I've mentioned, where you soak them up. Like, I cover them in water, and I let the paint sit and soften, and then I try to smush it back down, because they had these huge divots in the middle, and it made using them a bit difficult. But yeah, they're surprisingly vibrant. I have no idea what the colors are. Oh, an ad for nonsense. And now I have like another selection of square pans like this. These were ceramic pans too. So I think this set is a little bit older than the bigger one that also has square pans, because I think the other square pans are plastic. But yeah, it's technically Reeves, so it was the student range, and it was not expensive. It was, I looked out. I cannot afford, there's one set that I bought that was expensive, and I shelled out for it because it was my exception set. It's the set that I had always told myself that if I see it somewhere, I have to dig into the saved money to buy it. And I bought it. It's one of the Holbein travel palettes. But I'm always on the lookout for deals on these vintage palettes. And oftentimes they're all rusty, they're a bit busted. They need a bit of a clean. And yeah, this one, it was the case with this one. I think I got it before COVID, just to tell you. So it's been with me for a bit. And I kept it in its vintage state for a long time, but I realized that it was difficult to mix because the mixing areas were messed up, and like you would try to mix the paint, but it would get contaminated with all the rust and all the stuff around them and all of that. So at some point I looked at all of my vintage palettes like this one, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna try to sort it out and spray paint it. And that got me started. Unless you must been so expensive was not for the palette, but sorry. Sorry if I misread. It's a fun little palette and it has a really interesting color selection, so I hate that I haven't been able to like integrate more of it. I keep wanting to make a limited palette painting from these. But yeah. Sassy Britches, hello. Well, how are you, Pumpkin? Okay, I don't want to go, but I have to go to the pharmacy. I mean, there's about 15 minutes left, so you're not gonna miss all that much, Lewis. What are we mixing today? Just mixing for fun, trying to be more familiarized with the colors. If I could find my stupid mixing chart, of course it would help. I'll have to look for it after. But yeah, it's a really interesting vintage selection of colors, in my opinion. And yeah, I want to paint more with it. I'm just always like doing something with a different palette. I'm excited to oh, have a good day, Lewis. Good luck at the drugstore, at the pharmacy. Yeah, the other set that has the square pans, it has a lot of colors, and a lot of them are still perfectly like usable. I need to do a couple of rounds of like flattening the paint, like I explained, but I'm working on it, and I'm eager to, you know, finish up that other palette and put the paints back in, and then I can do a bit more of a video to show the colors. There's some really interesting colors in there, like some really bright turquoise that I remember swatching, and yeah, the colors are really nice. I think these are Reeves paint, but I can't say for sure. From what I remember, the bottom of the pans, I'm not sure if I can extract them. They're snug in there. But the palette says Reeves. These are the original pans that went in it. And I would say that the colors must have been something like some sort of yellow, a yellow ochre, a like vermilion type of color, sort of an alizarin crimson, an ultramarine blue, a Prussian blue, burnt sienna, and burnt umber, something like that. That's sort of my, like the ballpark of these colors. And they go surprisingly well together. Well, surprisingly, not that surprisingly, but you know what I mean. Like, the vermilion and the browns and the ultramarine blue, like some mixes of all of these, they neutralize in interesting ways. You have like some brighter colors, but also quite muted. So everything stays really cohesive together. You're a bit more limited in terms of mixing bright colors, which is to be expected. But overall, like it's a really fun little set. And it's the kind of colors that I really like to paint with personally. So I don't have a good reason for why I didn't bother like doing more with this. Yeah, it's like a sort of split primary somewhat with earth colors, basically. So yeah, because of the nature of the yellow, that's a little bit more on the warm side. So you can get a decent orange with the vermilion, but you get a more muted orange with the alizarin crimson. And then you have the two blues. So you get a more vibrant purple with the alizarin crimson and the ultramarine blue. But you kind of can't really mix a bright, vibrant green. Though I would say, like, this is not too bad. Like, it's a mix of the sort of Prussian blue and the yellow, but then when it was dry, I added a glaze of yellow on top. And it kind of works. And here you can have, like, some sort of a specific type of Caucasian skin tone, but I'm pretty sure I could get something really nice with the other earth colors too that are included, like, and the yellow ochre as well. Just adding a little touch of the alizarin crimson to give it a bit of that flush, like blood through skin color. It's really quite serviceable. I would be hoping that the Prussian blue plus yellow could make... I'll give it another try, but from what I remember of the chart that I can't find, it's... Because my yellow is perhaps a little bit more on the warm side, it doesn't make for the brightest of green. It is a really lovely green, but it's not... You know, there's a little bit of that muted through it. I hope you can sort of see what I mean, even if I had perhaps a bit more yellow. It is nice. It is a green that I like, but it is not like the... It's not like Schminke's Me green, if you know what I mean. It's not neon green. It's not like absurdly bright, but it is a nice like green. It's not gray. You know, sometimes when you mix, when you have a palette that has like, oftentimes it's like the yellow ochre and the ultramarine blue that can mix sort of more of a gray color, and you're like, well, it's a type of yellow and a type of blue, but they work against each other a bit too much, and they don't really make for a more grayish kind of color. Yeah, if you want like something bright leaf green, it's gonna be tricky. But it is lovely. Like these are nice. You can get a really nice orange though. So orange, doable. Purple, doable. Green, trickier. But the muted greens you can get are still really, really good. And they're not too muted either. Electric car. Oh, I keep meaning to post about this, but I have been spending more time with the DaVinci Harvest colors lately. And mixing a couple of the colors with ultramarine gives you some gorgeous greens. Oh, I'll have to check that out. Do you have swatches? Have you shared swatches? Really nice muted purple if you switch out the alizarin crimson for the vermilion. I will share swatches. Oh, thank you. Awesome. I don't have a lot of DaVinci colors, but if I'm lucky, I might be able to switch the colors for the different ones. Like if one of the colors is PY150, well, I can grab a PY150 that I have. You know what I mean? Very easy gray with the ultramarine and the burnt sienna adjacent color. And I think we get a similarly easy neutral with the burnt umber adjacent color. Their Harvest Moon color is a whopping 4-pigment mix they say is an excellent non-toxic alternative to PY150. Is PY150 toxic? I mean, as far as pigments go, I wouldn't eat any of them. I think the only pigment that I remember seeing in food is titanium white. I'm curious about that non-toxic alternative to PY150 because I doubt that they were able to mix a color as transparent as PY150. The only locally made paints in Australia is Art Spectrum. Art Spectrum has some really beautiful colors in there, though. I heard that they're quite expensive for you over there as well, which is the part that sucks. But man, I've been eyeing some of their greens forever. I just cannot afford it. I think the nickel is supposed to be hazardous. To my eyes, it's a bit greener than PY150, but not yet at green gold level. A super fiddly project in the back of my brain would be to get 2 more of DaVinci's dot card and combine their huge dot pancakes into single dots. So I'd have a complete cheap palette of them. The only dots that I've seen from DaVinci were not that impressive, so I don't know exactly if they've changed that or whatnot. They were not Schminke level bad, but they were not, like, big. But yeah, I'm loving this little palette. I would say, if you want to play with the colors, pretty sure you have something similar within your selection of colors, because we all have a ultramarine blue, a Prussian blue, a yellow ochre, burnt sienna, burnt umber. And then the other three colors is a yellow that's not exactly neutral, that's a bit more warm, a sort of really warm red-orange, and then a alizarin crimson kind of color. And I feel like these are colors that we all have in some capacity. If you've ever bought a set that came with colors in it, you probably have most of these already. And it's really fun to paint with them. I really enjoy like mixing with these. Yes, it is pricey, which sucks. It definitely sucks. And they're just available in tubes. I mean, a lot of brands are just available in tubes. Or just in pans, depending. And you can, yeah, I was about to say you can pan the paints, but I remember trying to pan the few Art Spectrum colors that I have. And it was at least half of a mess. And I do remember, I don't think they recommend panning their paints. I have the, I don't remember what color it is. It's the one that has a name that's something gray, but it's like a sort of buff titanium beige color. And it crumbled like no one's business. So, yeah, I think the red and the blue also crumble. I think only the Australian yellow kind of color didn't crumble right away because it was a bit more binder heavy. Ah, that's annoying. They have nice colors. Pain in the ass that they're pricey and don't dry well. But you can get pans if you buy a curated. Oh, that's true. If you buy a set, the paints are in pans. Fair. Can you imagine your job being hand pouring paints for Da Vinci? Sounds fun. I don't think I would be mad at that. There's a part of me that's a bit sad about these paints, in the sense that when I eventually run out of these, I'm not entirely sure what I can replace these with, but I'll find something. But it's just like this part of the puzzle that's waiting for me. We're talking about Art Spectrum or Da Vinci? Or talking about both. Both of these are really difficult to find around here. There's a couple of places that I know of that have Da Vinci, but I don't think I've ever seen a single Canadian store that had Art Spectrum. I would have to order them from Jackson's, which is, you know, doable. It's just a pricey. So that will be it for today's stream. Thank you guys for spending part of your Saturday with me. I really appreciate it, as always. I'm eager to paint more with these, and if you decide to give a similar selection a try, like paint a few swatches, feel free to share them on the Discord server. That would be really fun to see. I would love it. But yeah, interesting. I'm really excited to share the bigger set with you guys. I'm far from being able to do that. I still have a lot of work to do on the palette, and it's a bigger palette, so it's going to be even more work. But I'm excited. I've swatched a few of the colors already. They're really nice, and I think it's going to be fun to talk more about those vintage colors in due time. But yeah, have a great weekend, guys. Thanks again. Don't forget to give your pets pets if you have pets, and take cake. Bye bye.